Brands now seek influencers, content creators. Please insert whichever is appropriate for you. Brands now seek influencers that have a deep understanding of their target audience. And I'm telling you, understanding your audience is not anything new, but I think how it's being applied to the influencer space is where that novelty comes in. I've done so much research on knowing my audience that I definitely see the value in that. And I think that's a need for brands these days because they aren't us. They don't know the ins and outs and the relationships that we have built within our communities. The internet is a huge space. And if you're able to articulate clearly your audience to a brand, they can then best position their product or service in a way that will best resonate with your audience. They can work with you in order to do that. And the conversation of brand deals as it pertains to content creators versus influencers, right? Brand deals, brand partnerships are usually the primary source of income for influencers as opposed to content creators. Brand partnerships are just a small part of their multiple streams of income. So I think that's an important differentiation to keep in mind. But I think if you're a YouTuber and you see brand deals a part of your income generating strategy, there's going to be some good things that I go over in these next few minutes. As I approach 1,000 subscribers, I want to prepare myself to work with brands, and I don't want to work with just anybody. I really want high paying, high quality brand deals. So I took it upon myself to do some research on what do brands expect from creators these days. The influencer marketing industry is increasingly changing and becoming more complex, and I want to stay abreast to that so that I can position myself to get the best brand deals possible that not only are great for me, but are great for my audience in the future. One of the best pieces of information, I guess, I came across during my research is from the folks over at Influence City. It was a video that I found on YouTube. I don't know too much about the company, but the name of the company definitely says a lot. So I will be pulling a lot of information from that video, but I made sure to, fact check them. I did further research and multiple articles came up mentioning the same few points on what brands are expecting from us as creators when they work with us. The first part of this video is going to go over understanding what brands need, like understanding brands' needs. I think when you're a content creator, like I never had a brand deal before, but I've worked with clients, and for me, I would like to think of a brand as a client. And when you have clients, you have to be aware of their needs, and the same thing goes for brands. What are the brand's needs right now in 2024? I guess long-term partnerships are becoming more popular with a brand to influencer relationship. These long-term partnerships are becoming more favored by brands because it builds authentic brand loyalty. Constantly seeing the same brand being shared by an influencer shows the viewer that, wow, this person actually stands by this brand. They believe in what is being sold, product or service wise, and that trust that is being showcased between the brand and the creator then passes on to the potential customer that is the influencer's viewer, which makes a lot of sense. It takes a lot sometimes for me to make a purchase, I do have to see the brand more than once. And I've heard that it takes, I think, 11 times for someone to see a brand in order to make a purchase. I don't know the exact stats and numbers, but psychologically, we have to see a brand more than once to feel compelled enough to buy from them. So I think brands are translating that over into the influencer space and utilizing these long-term partnerships. That's also great from, like I said, I want high-paying brand deals. This is like a little thing I just want to say here. Brand deals are unpredictable, right? But if you can get a long-term partnership, if I can get a long-term partnership, that will allow for me to understand how much money I'm getting from this particular deal versus the one-off deals here and there or sporadically. And I like that. That sounds more appealing to me. That's what I want. Another interesting thing is influencers have been around for a while now, and I guess audiences, us, we're starting to more easily see through the bullshit. Like, we can tell now if someone's promoting a brand just because they're getting a check from it, and that doesn't feel good. And it really, what's that word? I'm thinking like the word deteriorates the credibility of the influencer when it comes off that they're just doing this little segment in their video because they're getting paid from it. Like, that's more obvious to us these days, and brands know that. So this is why the expectation coming from brands based on my research is that influencers need to be industry experts. And I take that as within your niche, within your particular industry when it comes to content creation, because you don't create content on everything in the world. You have a certain sector that you should know really well, and that means the brands that you work with, you should be able to know how to connect and mesh that brand with the world of your niche. It's even easier to come off inauthentic with a little brand segment in a video when it has nothing to do with anything in your niche, where when you haven't even made it clear why as a viewer or why are you as a creator even talking about this to us. So I think I have to be smart about the brands that I work with and make sure it's a quality fit for my audience, or else it can be portrayed, or else I could give off a vibe that I'm just doing this deal to make money from it, and I don't want that. Lastly, in terms of this whole, like, what are brands expecting? I guess they're gonna start to shift towards influencers being compensated based on campaign results. So another name for that is we're going to see, or people who have brand deals are going to see these more performance-based deals. And I think that is incredibly interesting, because I think a part of the appeal to younger kids of wanting to grow up and be a YouTuber, be an influencer, is the easiness about it. Like, oh, you can just create content, you get all these subscribers or followers, and brands pay you, they give you stuff, yada yada yada. But if these, which they are, these performance-based deals become more of a thing, all those vanity metrics kind of hold less weight. And it's really gonna show who's who in this space, and like who actually has a dedicated audience and people that, like, how it's gonna show how influential are you actually. Are you really influencing these people? And I think that's a big deal for me, because I don't think I'll be considering myself an influencer in the traditional sense, but regardless of these kind of definitions around a content creator versus an influencer, as a person who wants to have brand deals a part of my income streams, I want to be effective for the brand, and I want to be effective for my audience. So I'm not necessarily afraid of these performance-based deals, but I wonder if people who are more seasoned, who have experience with brand deals and stuff, are a little bit intimidated by the potential of having a performance-based deal, because if this doesn't perform well, you won't get the compensation for it that you may have thought or you may have gotten in the past for the same level of work. So that's something to really think about. So next I want to talk about the fact that I've recognized how professional I'm going to have to be in terms of approaching brands and really getting to work with the brands that I want. I was listening to Roberto Blake today. Excuse me for being so caught up on my words, but he taught me about the Dream 100 list, creating a list of 100 brands that I want to work with. And when I heard that, I felt a sense of inspiration, excitement, and awe, and like, oh my gosh, 100 brands that I would dream to work with. Wow, it kind of felt like a lot to think about, but even so, it's going to be cool for me to start to cross off my list of brands that I end up working with. And that Dream 100 idea just, or that Dream 100 list gave me a starting point to kind of like choosing the right brands to work with. Going back to what I kind of mentioned earlier in this video, I really want to make sure everything is a perfect fit for me and for my audience. But yeah, from a professional standpoint, I recognize through this research, like the emails that have to be sent, the way I have to pitch myself, all of that comes with a certain level of professionalism that brands are also expecting, and can get me further and can get me those high quality deals that I'm looking for. I think potentially in this creator space, influencer space, which again, I haven't been in long, but that professionalism aspect can get looked over, because this type of way of getting money is still newer in the world, and corporate America has been around for way longer than the creator economy. So the rule book is still being written on professionalism when it comes to the creator economy. But I have come to realize that I'm really thankful for the small, or because I'm not saying I've had a lot of experience, but the level of professionalism that I do possess right now, I'm happy that I can translate that over into what I'm doing. And brands are going to want to work with creators who are professional. That's just what I've discovered in my research. So that looks like largely having the ability to communicate effectively. And I think that can go a long way. I guess this can lead to repeated collaborations, more business opportunities with these brands, and again, those high quality brand deals. One of the things that I learned from Influencity is, I guess, brands in 2024 are experimenting with unique collaboration formats like virtual events and live Q&A sessions. I did see this style or format used about a year and a half ago from Kyra Monique and Aaliyah's Face. They did a collaboration with Target. I think that's pretty cool to work with a brand in that way. They got to do this like live stream kind of thing and talk about some products. And I don't think just anybody is going to be chosen for those kinds of opportunities. And I also think those particular opportunities come with a certain price tag in terms of, or rather, should I say, a certain level of compensation that is a good example of what I mean by high quality brand deals. I think if you're able to show a certain level of professionalism, you will be afforded certain opportunities within the brand deal, brand partnership space that just gets you above average in terms of what you're paid, and also in terms of what you'll be able to put in your portfolio to say that you've done, that you can leverage in the future to get similar or even better opportunities from other brands, which I think that goes a long way for this particular income stream. Like, you want to, if you're a professional, you can get the best of the best, be the best of the best when it comes to the fact that many brands are going to continue to utilize influencer marketing. And there's different tiers of that. Where do you want to fall? And I think you can dictate where you fall based on your level of professionalism. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking to myself, by the way. Like, I am just trying to really drill into me. Professionalism goes a long way. So, like I said, I do think I have a good level of professionalism, but I wonder what I can do to just improve my business acumen in the space of working with brands. I'm definitely going to continue to do my research. I just want to make sure when I'm communicating with them, emailing, on calls, because I'm not interested in getting a brand manager probably immediately once I cross that threshold of 1,000 subscribers, because that's when I heard Sean Cannell said you can start pitching yourself to brands when you have 1,000 subscribers. And for me, that's not too far away. I plan to have that within the next 6 months. So I want to be ready to put my best foot forward. I think I have one more thing to say about professionalism. Speaking from the audience's point of view, I learned through Influency, through some other articles, like, audiences value valuable insights, and they really want to experience an exchange of value when engaging with content creators. They don't want inauthenticity at all. They really want that real. So I think professionalism can be brought up in that sense, because if this is a part, I don't like to say if this is your job, but if, like, working with brands, communicating with your audience, that's a part of the deal here. That's a part of being a content creator. Be professional in the sense, like, you're actually providing value to your audience in some way. Don't be self-serving or selfish and just throwing together content haphazardly, not having your audience in mind at all. And that is a good segue into this part that I want to talk about, of the importance of being an expert of my audience. That's just going to be a part of the skill stack that I need to have in order to get these high-paying, high-quality brand deals. And it's easier to understand your audience when you're confident in the value that you're giving to them on a weekly, daily basis, with the content that you're creating. Things like understanding your audience persona, your brand persona, etc., all have to do with that. And I did make a video specifically talking about what it looks like to get started with knowing your audience. So watch it right here, and I'll see you in that video. Bye bye.